Logging into SiteWiz today, let's see what the insights say.
There's only one thing you can do to make your show better. Have Drake Som on as a guest star.
What the heck?
Hey, Drake.
Hey, Josh.
Did you program SiteWiz to tell me to have you on the show?
Yeah.
You could have just asked.
To the first party? Nah. Second party? Nah. Third party? Yeah. Let's go. It's the third party show. It's the third party show. It's the third party show. Hey, 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 hey. Third party show. It's the third party show. It's the third party show. Come on, let's go. Hey, yo, hey, everybody. Yeah, what's going on? Hey, you up there, you're cool. You up there, you're not. Everybody, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, everybody. And welcome to the Third Party Show. I am your host, Josh Silverbauer. We have quite a show for you tonight. Drake Som is here. Hey, Drake. But first, I want to thank our sponsors, Piwik Pro. Piwik Pro is a privacy-first analytics suite built for compliance with regulations like GDPR and CCPA, giving you powerful insights without compromising user trust or data control. Piwik Pro, everybody. Okay, time for the news. Anthropic CEO announced that AI could cause a massive unemployment growth. He then said, but don't worry, I'll be fine. Apple released an article claiming AI doesn't actually reason at all, it just memorizes patterns really well. ChatGPT responded with, memorize this, you Bleep that part, please. Thank you. Mark Zuckerberg is recruiting a team to build a super intelligence. The first thing he's going to ask it is, why don't people use Facebook anymore? Huh? That's not that great of a joke at the end. Moving on. A partial ChatGPT outage prevented thousands from using it. I don't have a punchline for this one because I was writing this while it was out. Google is offering buyouts to their staff to make room for new AI automations. It's all part of Google's new motto, don't be evil, just be really, really cheap. Snap announced that they plan on selling consumer AR glasses in 2026. Snap said these glasses will allow users to see things they've never seen before, like a Snapchat user over 35. Yeah. Sam Altman claims an average ChatGPT query uses roughly 1/15 of a teaspoon of water, or as an average American would say, not my entire day's worth of water consumption. What, Americans don't like water? They don't drink water. And that's the news. We have a great show for you tonight. Our guest is a student of optimization and AI who spent the past year learning from over 500 CROs and experimenters. He is the co-founder of SiteWiz. Give it up for Drake Som! Hey, Drake. Welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
Doing great. Excited to be here.
I'm very excited. You are the first person that I am interviewing that is specifically working with AI every single day. Did you wake up, one day when you were like 3 and say, I want to, work in AI?
Not quite. When I was 3, I think I was playing tennis on the tennis court. Racket was bigger than my face, and I had no idea what AI was. Eventually, I made it out to Carnegie Mellon. I met some incredible folks here. We met with one of the senior directors at a huge e-commerce company, and he was talking about his team of 20 analysts and how they have to do all this effort and research. And we figured, hey, that's a lot of manual effort. Perfect opportunity for AI. We decided to go all in and see what we could do.
Obviously, CRO is about making better experiences, determining what is a friction point and creating solves for those problems. Do you find that you as a person are somebody who looks for solves in your everyday life?
Definitely. I think there are a lot of instances in our everyday lives where there is some real crud user experience is. Like I went to an elevator and the floors, the way that they're ordered wasn't in chronological or the correct order. Another one is grocery store credit card. So some of these credit card readers at the store, it's really hard to figure out exactly where you're supposed to put the card. Or maybe it's in the bathroom when you're trying to do the motion censored towel and then it goes into the sink. It's like these sorts of funny moments where you realize, hey, this wasn't thought through a whole lot.
So did you yourself talk to 500 CROs, or is that like your company did that? Or was that you? Did you do
No, that was me.
Wow.
That was me.
500. That's quite a bit. Was there anything that you just like heard over and over and over again where you were like, okay, yeah, I know, because I've talked to like 499 other ones who've said that?
Yep. There are a couple of things. The first thing is very specifically about heat maps. I guess I've heard a few hot takes on heat maps. Everyone looks at them, but it's pretty hard to figure out what they mean, what you're supposed to do about it. Next one is a lot about experimentation culture. Say you have a really great experiment idea. Every experiment idea, even the good ones, need a hype person. You know, a little bit of a push to get through, you know, the higher ups, stakeholders.
It will be interesting to see with AI if the trust becomes more or less than a person.
Definitely.
You know, that's the beauty of data, is you take out the ego. It's interesting to think about it if there will be more of an inherent trust because the platform is telling you this than a person.
That's a great point. And I fully agree. AI is a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to trust, particularly for experimentation, because on one hand, we're all familiar with hallucinations. We're all familiar that AI gets things wrong, but at the same time, within experimentation culture, it does add a bit of objectivity. Say there's an optimizer who already had an idea, a hypothesis, and saw some of the data. And then they're able to see an AI that aggregates data and analyze it say the same thing. That's what the strongest combination has been. When the AI agrees with the human, that pushes things forward extra.
Yeah, because you have it's that data validation.
There's an AI company that's trying to replace like consulting overall. But ultimately, it's going to be tough for an AI consulting company to really replace something like McKinsey because there's really a double meaning and double purpose for something like that. And they're the scapegoats a little bit. The big company, the executives, they want to be able to say, hey, we're able to point to these group of consultants. It's their fault, whatever happens.
It's their fault. Right. Yep.
So I do think AI will be a little bit different within experimentation. I don't really think we'll be able to say, hey, it's AI's fault that this happened, because there's a strong need for human in the loop here, and who are the decision makers, and ultimately, I guess, the optimizers to pull the trigger on some of these things.
I mean, it's still going to be a human's fault if they are the one who says, let's replace everything with AI, and then the company fails. That's not AI's fault. That's that human's fault that said that they should do that strategy.
So I do think it's a little bit dangerous when there's an AI tool that's trying to automate things completely without humans in the loop. So that's one of the core pieces of SiteWiz to try to avoid this concept of replacing optimizers.
So is SiteWiz built for a certain type of website like e-commerce, or can anyone use it?
SiteWiz works on any sort of website that has a number of KPIs or OKRs, objective key results, that they're aiming for. Anything that has a key metric that ultimately people want to increase, that's relevant to SiteWiz. That said, a lot of our early users and early clients have been D2C e-commerce companies.
So with testing, you know, there's a certain amount of either users or conversions that are needed to leverage a scientific tool. What if like a B2B company who has a very small amount of, you know, form submits per month? What's kind of your conversation with them?
So typically the truth is, when there's not a whole lot of data, the suggestions become a little bit less data-driven. So SiteWiz thrives a lot more when there are, 100,000, 200,000 visitors per month. But SiteWiz also tends to work very closely with whoever the optimizer is within the company. And there is still relevance in user behavior even when there is less traffic. So we are still able to give them these suggestions, perhaps more UX-based. Perhaps sometimes there are some that are a little bit more best practice-based. So yeah, just because there isn't enough traffic to run a conclusive test doesn't mean that there isn't enough traffic to be iterating and trying to improve the website.
Great. Awesome. When did you graduate from Carnegie Mellon?
4 months ago.
4 months ago, right? So you're like brand new in the working world, right? I mean, obviously you've been, doing this through your college and everything like that,
Yep.
but what are your suggestions for people to, who are interested? Like, what should people be learning? What should they be really, diving into to get value out of school?
Reach out to as many people as you can. There are folks like you, Josh, who are always churning out content and are always trying to share. It seems a lot of folks in experimentation are doing this. And these people are, really easy to reach out to. Interact with their content. Read what they're saying. That's how you learn about the day-to-day sort of culture. And that aggregates and builds an understanding of what experimentation is like over time. The other is there's a number of resources that are easily accessible. One of the first things I did was I went to ConversionWise's website, and they offer this like $47 CRO course. And it covered a lot of the basics, but I did the course, and it was very much worth like the $47 because I learned, hey, here's what a CRO typically has to do. Here are a lot of the skills that they have. There are things like the Slack communities. Like there's the Experimentation, as well as test and learn community. You got to join these if you're trying to break in here, because that's like the hub of a lot of conversation. A lot of big name folks who have, been doing experimentation since the beginning of it are there, and they're running events. They're doing things like CRO therapy. So attend these sorts of things. And once you maybe get a little bit of money, attend some of these conferences. This community is one that really likes to, I guess, bounce around knowledge. And it's really open to communication there. So that high response rate is something you should take advantage of, when you're doing LinkedIn outreach and trying to meet some cool folks.
There's something very poetic and magical about that, right? It's as we get further and further into tech, we have to remember that so much of what we gain is by having conversations with people.
Definitely.
I love you, dude. I love you, Bro Montana. I love you, Holmes. I love you, Broseph Quibbles.
Okay. The point you made is relevant both to data and to AI. Obviously, when you're looking at a lot of data, it's a little bit easy to look at people as dots on maps and lines on graphs, obviously, but we really got to remember the faces and the figures and the names behind the numbers and the stories beyond the statistics.
Yep.
And that's really the key to understanding that business metrics are also human metrics. And that's something, obviously in data, that's an important point, but also in AI. Because ultimately, the goal of AI here is to build something that humans can use that makes humans' lives better, not to make AI's life better.
I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well, let's move into our second segment, which is our game, our first game. Drake, we're going to play a game called AI or NayI. AI or NayI. I'm going to read off a few quotes, and you are going to tell me if this is a quote written by AI or by human. Each one of these has a quote and then from a person. Okay? If you know the person, then we're screwed. All right. I don't know if you'll know the person or not. All right. Quote number 1. We built AI to solve our problems, only to discover it's revealing more about ourselves than we were prepared to see. Marcus Chen, technology ethicist.
I think that's a real quote.
That is an AI quote.
It's an AI quote? Oh, you got me. Okay. No idea who Marcus Chen is, but I guess they're not a real person.
They're not a real person. Computers are able to see, hear, and learn. Welcome to the future. Dave Waters.
I think it's a real quote.
That is a real quote. Good job.
All right, we're 50-50. Let's end it here, and then we can say we were 50-50.
We'll do best of 5. We'll see what happens here. Artificial intelligence will reach human levels by around 2029. Follow that out further to say 2045, we will have multiplied the intelligence, the human biological machine intelligence of our civilization a billionfold. Ray Kurzweil.
I believe that's true, and I know my co-founder, he's an advocate that AGI will come quite quickly. So from that, I think I'm gonna guess that someone really said that.
Human quote. Good job. 2-1. Every time my AI assistant gets something exactly right, I feel this strange mix of pride and unease, like watching a child grow up too quickly. James Okafor.
I think it's a real quote.
That is AI.
I'm doing.
They're hard, right?
I'm doing okay with everything is a real quote, but I think we'll have to think a little more than that now.
Game point. We're not teaching machines to think like humans. We're teaching ourselves to think differently about what thinking is. Amara Patel.
I think it's AI.
That is AI. All right. 3 for 2. All right. Good job. They're hard, right? Quotes in general have this mechanic feeling to them.
Definitely. There's definitely a Squid Game reference to be brought up here with this. That felt like jumping on glass panes and hoping that they would hold.
All right, we are getting to our first musical number here. So basically, back in, I guess, last year for Marketing Analytics Summit, I wrote a song called With AI to the tune of When Doves Cry. And this was for Jim Stern's entrance because he was talking about AI and, you know, what you can do with AI and how to leverage it from a creative standpoint. What I did was I put random stock video of robots and AI dancing to it, and I haven't watched it yet. We're gonna be surprised together about how this music video came out. Okay?
Great.
Jim's here to paint a picture on how AI is great to assist on helping with some creativity and problem solving. Can you get with this? Society's moving forward and large language models are too. And you know these brilliant composers, they can complete ideas for me and you. Now that you're just understanding, so much for you to behold. Maybe your work needs expanding. Maybe you don't like your content too old. Maybe you want to uncover data that's hard to find. Why not see what you discover? This is what the world's like with AI. Prompt, if you will, a puzzle. See how it suggests insights. You've got the Gen AI all teed up. It's here to aid you, so take it for a ride. You're just understanding, so much for you to behold. Maybe your work needs expanding. Maybe you don't like your content too old. Maybe you want to uncover data that's hard to find. Why not see what you discover? This is what the world's like with AI. Now that you're just understanding, so much for you to behold. Maybe your work needs expanding. Maybe you don't like your content too old. Maybe you want to uncover data that's hard to find. Why not see what you discover? This is what the world's like with AI. With AI. With AI. With AI.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that did the trick on that, you know. There's a lot of robots dancing. Some of them were better than others. So let's get to our game segment number 2. And this is what it taught me about B2B sales.
And this is what it taught me about B2B sales.
The way that this game works is I'm going to give you a random activity. I'm going to ask AI for an activity. I'll ask Claude.
Hi, that's me. I'm Claude.
Something like jumping rope or something like that. And then you're going to have about 15 to 20 seconds to come up in your brain with, you know, how you're going to relate this back to B2B sales. And obviously the joke of this is that on LinkedIn, we see every 5 minutes somebody taking their marriage or their wedding or their yesterday surfing with their kids and relating it back to B2B sales. Okay, origami paper folding.
Yep, doing origami taught me about B2B sales. Because just like how the manual was really straightforward and had a number of easy steps, but wasn't, that's exactly how it was.
Nice. The one that Claude came up with was,
This is the art of transforming a flat sheet of paper into a finished sculpture through folding and sculpting techniques. It's creative pursuit that focuses on precision, patience, and transforming simple materials into complex designs. Quite different from the relationship building and solution selling focus on B2B sales activities.
yours was way better than his.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
All right, well, we have one more musical number. So right before this call, I had Claude write me some lyrics to SiteWiz the song.
I'm a magnificent lyricist.
And then I took that over to Suno,
Hi, I'm Suno, I guess. What do I do again?
an AI song generator, and I told it to write a glam rock, British rock, classic rock style song using the lyrics that I put together,
Excuse me?
or that Claude put together. I am going to play that song for you, and you can tell me how well it represents the company.
Do you want me to Simon Cowell this?
Yeah, I want you to Simon Cowell the shit out of this.
Wow. Good luck.
Okay, ready?
Point and click, watch it grow. Your vision comes alive, don't you know? No coding skills required here. SiteWiz makes it crystal clear. SiteWiz, building dreams with AI. Your perfect website in the blink of an eye. From nothing to amazing, it's the SiteWiz way. Your digital presence is just a click away. Template smart, design so clean, the easiest builder you've ever seen. Customize it, make it yours, while SiteWiz opens all the doors. When the future meets today, SiteWiz leads the way. Max size built with just a thought, that's the magic that you bought. SiteWiz, building dreams with AI. Your perfect website in the blink of an eye. From nothing to amazing, it's the SiteWiz way. Your digital presence is just a click away.
Yeah, what did you think? What'd you think? It's pretty good, right?
The voice was great. It was a good song.
AI writes catchy songs because that's like based off of historical song writing.
I was grooving. It was a good time.
Awesome, man. Well, I want to give you the opportunity to, one, promote anything you guys have coming up with SiteWiz, and then anything that you want the listeners to walk away with. You know, what's the word of wisdom from Drake Som?
Definitely. I would just encourage everyone to familiarize yourselves with the tools that are out there and exactly what their limits are. I think the future of experimentation and the people who are leading experimentation in the future are those who are able to manage AI and understand where the limits are and be that medium between an organization, a corporation, and improvement through AI. Be that medium. I really think that will be those who lead experimentation in the future. A little bit more about SiteWiz. SiteWiz is an AI that does CRO, and it tries to do it the same way that a human does, not to replace CROs, but to augment them and take away a lot of the manual effort and speed them up. Basically, we did this with a couple of agents that work together. One is like a data analyst agent that looks at things like behavioral analytics, session recordings, heat maps, event tracking statistics, and it finds insights and patterns. Sends it over to a suggestions agent, which creates a hypothesis and a test, has all the bits that CROs like to see, like an estimated impact and ICE prioritization. And then it's also able to send it over to a coding agent. And this coding agent creates a before and after variant like you would have to in Figma, and then shows you the code if you're interested in running the test. So in other words, it's everything in between and like the analytics and then running the test that SiteWiz is able to do. Once again, being that medium between AI superpowers and a corporation is where the future leaders of experimentation and really all of business will be.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Drake, for coming on the show, man. And we really appreciate you being here. That's a wrap on the Third Party Show. And everybody give it up for Drake Som. Everyone, we had an amazing time tonight on the Third Party Show. We learned all about AI, optimization, and SiteWiz. And the show cannot be possible without our excellent sponsors, Piwik Pro. Give it up for Piwik Pro. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the third party is the best party. We'll see you next time.
Show lit up with his voice.
Definitely.
Each word deliberate, each thought a choice.
Yeah.
SiteWiz blazing trails in the digital sky.
Yep.
With AI wings teaching brands how to fly. Oh, Drake Som, you're the man of the hour. With AI tools that hold the power. 500 CEOs, they listened in awe. Your vision's the hammer breaking
camera guy. Everybody give it up one more time for Drake.
Thanks, Josh.